All right, we're back with the last day of 12.2. Good thing is, no graphing today. Today should be a much shorter lesson for you guys. We're going to talk about some real world problems. Here are the solutions to day 2. Just as always, their table may look a little bit different than your table. I always try to pick numbers that are going to use numbers that are going to give you nice numbers to work with. Okay, for which function is the domain all real numbers except for 3 and the range all real numbers except for 7? In order to answer a question like this, what I like to do is I like to draw a graph and see what that would actually look like. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just draw a quick sketch here. The domain is x, so x cannot be equal to -3 and y cannot be equal to it says 7. Okay, so x can't be -3. That means there's an asymptote there. And y cannot be equal to 7. That means there's an asymptote right there. Okay, so that would be something over x plus 3 and then plus 7. So that's what I'm going to look for. And I see that that is option C right there. Okay, so this was like years ago I did this. I went to Virginia Beach to run a marathon with some friends. We rented a car. We got a hotel room or whatever, and here's all the information. So flight was $400. The cost of the hotel for 3 days was, and I had my friend, well, I'll get to that in a second here. The cost of the hotel for 3 days was $533, and the car rental for 3 days was $140. How much would it cost if I went solo compared to traveling with my 3 friends? There's 2 of them right there in this picture. That was a rental car. That was the beach. Good stuff. All right, so let's first write an equation to model this. So my trip costs, so the cost is equal to, so part of it I had to pay for myself, no matter what, $400, my flight. I had to pay that by myself. However, the other cost could be split amongst the number of people. That being the rental car and the hotel room can be split. Okay, so if we share that, we have $533 plus 140, $673 can be split up divided by the number of people. So if it's just me, persons equals 1, that's $673. So if P equals 1, that's 6, then the cost is equal to $1,073, okay? But if I go with 3 friends, then what I can do is I can take P equals 4, so 673 divided by 4 plus the 400. So 673 divided by 4 is $168.25, plus the 400 is $568.25. And so basically what happens here is, yeah, I just want to make sure the cost of the hotel for 3 days was $533. Okay, and the car rental was, okay, total. Okay, I wanted to make sure that wasn't per day, and I had to like multiply that by 3. So, okay, so there you go. So how much did I save by traveling with my friends versus going by myself? $1,073 minus $568.25, I guess. So I basically save $505. That's how much I saved by traveling with my friends. So as the number of people increased on the trip, the lower that it costs, which is why it's a rational function. Okay, and then here's another one. This is a problem out of your book. All right, so we got a rental bus. We're going to an art museum here. Cost of the bus is $495, divided equally amongst the number of people, but the museum costs $12.50 per person. So your cost is going to be your $495 divided by the number of people. So the more people that go, the less the bus is gonna cost. But everybody has to pay the $12.50 no matter what for the museum ticket. So there's your function, okay? And then don't worry about graphing it. And there's a problem in the book, don't worry about graphing it. And then use the graph to approximate the number of people who need to go on the trip so that the cost is $25 per person. So we want the cost to be 25. I'm gonna show you guys how to solve that actually. 25 equals 495 divided by P. So basically, how many people do we need to recruit in order for the trip to cost everybody 25 bucks? Okay, so I'm gonna subtract 1250 from both sides. That's 1250 equals 495 divided by P. I'm gonna multiply both sides by P because the variable's on the bottom. So I have 1250 P equals 495. We're just doing some algebra here. And then divide by 1250, get P by itself. So 495 divided by 1250 gives me a total of P equals 39.6. But we can't have a decimal value of people. And if I go 39, it'll be over 25 bucks. So what I want to say is 40 people so that it costs slightly less than 25 bucks. So if you do 495 divided by 40 people plus the $12.50 for the museum ticket, it costs $28 or $24, $8.75, so $24.88, $24.88. So there you go. Fun question. One more question for you guys. Write an equation whose graph is a hyperbola that has the given asymptotes and passes through the given point. So here's what you're going to do for a question like this. I normally do this in school. What we want to do is draw a picture. The first thing, x equals 7. And if you guys remember, that is a vertical line going through the x asymptote at x-axis at 7. Y equals 8 is a horizontal line going through the y-axis at 8. Okay, so a couple things here to note. We move our graph to the right 7. That's going to be, I'm just going to put an A here, x plus 7. Nope, I did that wrong. X minus 7, because we're going to the right 7. And then our graph is going up 8, so I'm going to put a plus 8 right there. You have to figure out what A is, because A could be a vertical stretch. And so we're going to use this point, and we've done this before in this class law. We take that point, we plug it in to figure out what A is. So 0 equals A over negative 6 minus 7 plus the 8 there. I'm going to show you guys how to solve this equation for the variable A. The first thing I'm going to do is simplify this to negative 13. I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides to get rid of that 8 there. Okay, so negative 8 equals A divided by negative 13. And then I'm just going to multiply both sides by negative 13. And that's going to get rid of that right there. And negative 13 times negative 8 is a positive 104. And that is our A value. So your final equation, go back up here and just plug in the 104 right there. So y equals 104 over x minus 7 plus 8. And that is your wonderful equation. Wow, it's a very large vertical stretch. Didn't expect that at all. But that's it. So there you go. It's number 32. Here's your assignment. You don't need to graph number 39. It's a word problem. It is a very complicated graph. The rest of it, I think you guys will do great on. It's a little bit shorter. Thank you guys for tuning in, as always.